What's going on, Rebels and Imperials? My name's Combat Muffin, and welcome to yet another star card review. Last time we did the impact grenade. Today we're doing the flash grenade that disorients your opponents on the battlefield. So stick around and we'll jump right into that shortly. Now, like with all star card reviews, I give you 90% fact and then I sprinkle in a little bit of my opinion at the end, whether or not I would like to use this in my loadout on any given game mode or map. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump right into that description for the flash grenade. So the description reads as follows: flash grenade, a non-lethal explosive which creates a bright energy flash and loud noise to disorient opponents. And boy, does it do that. When you see this thing fall at your feet, you get absolutely messed up. Flashing lights, you hear that noise that really just knows that you're disoriented. It does its job on the battlefield. The flash grenade hasn't really gone through a history of buffs and nerfs because it doesn't really represent something that's very OP on the battlefield, and it's certainly not falling behind. It has a very specific job and it does that job well if you want that job to be done. In order to get that flash grenade, you're going to need to be at rank 20 and you're going to have to pay 3,100 credits. At that state, at the unupgraded state of the flash grenade, it has a 16-second cooldown. I believe with the 7,000 credits that are taken to upgrade most star cards, you can knock that down to just 12 seconds, which is relatively fast for most star cards. You can throw in a lot of flash grenades and disorient many opponents. Now, the mechanics for that flash grenade are relatively simple. You throw it in the air. Fortunately, unlike the thermal detonator, it does not have a detonation countdown time. So it could be in the air for an hour and it would not detonate until it hits something hard. Once it hits something hard, like the ground, a wall, etc., it'll detonate in about 0.5 seconds. That is perfect because you can throw it down a hallway, make a bounce into a large troop of enemies, and they will be disoriented as the flash grenade does. Now, as the description says, your opponent will be disoriented. Most of that is the flashing on the screen because their visual perspective is probably their most useful for being an offensive threat. The sounds is not really that important. It does make a high-pitched sound, but that's not really what disorients your opponent. It's more the flashing of the screen that disorients them. Now, depending how close your opponent is to the actual detonation of the flash grenade, they will be disoriented for a good 5 seconds, which is plenty of time for you to step in there and take them out. Because the kill time in Battlefront is relatively small. It's only about 1 or 2 seconds, 2 seconds at the max, very quick. That is more than enough time to take out your opponent. However, you have to be very careful with the flash grenade, where you can disorient yourself just as much as your opponent, if not more, giving your opponent the time to take you out. So the flash grenade, you need to know its limits. You need to know that you can get affected deeply and powerfully with that flash grenade. Now, the flash grenade represents a weapon, a star card, that when it works as well, if not better, than any star card. However, when it doesn't work, it can feel really underwhelming and it can get you into trouble sometimes. It doesn't really have a specific playing style. If I had to put a label on it, I would say somewhat aggressive to somewhat backup kind of. You want to throw it in so you and or your teammates can step in there and take out the opponents that have been disoriented. Unlike the thermal detonator where you can just go running around throwing grenades left and right and just raking in the kills, this is a star card that you're going to need practice with. You're going to need to learn the limits of the flash grenade in order to use it to the max. Once you've done that, it can be very potent on the battlefield, especially more so indoors than outdoors, because outdoors you're going to have more sight line to that flash grenade that you just threw, making it so that you could be disoriented more easily. However, indoors you can throw it down a corridor, then step aside into a different corridor, let it detonate, and then step back into that corridor and rake in the kills of the disoriented enemies. Now, I want to go back to that idea of how it's a very unique star card. It's not really accurate to compare it to something like the pulse cannon. They are totally different. I can't really say that the flash grenade is better than the pulse cannon or the pulse cannon is better than the flash grenade. One gets kills, the other disoriented enemies so that you can get the kills. One is for long range, one is for short range. They're completely different. One isn't better than the other, they have different jobs on the battlefield. If you want to be more of a team player and get the W for your team, the flash grenade is probably going to be better for that than the pulse cannon. However, if you want to sit at the back of the map, rake in the kills from there, get plenty of points for yourself, get that pulse cannon, because that's going to do a better job than the flash grenade. Overall, I give the flash grenade about a 7 out of 10. It's doing its job, and it's doing it well. It does disorient you a lot on the battlefield. You have to be prepared for that to happen when you take it in your star card hand. It does its job, it does it well, but there are star cards out there that seem a little bit more practical for one-on-ones and general team gameplay. However, the flash grenade does its job, and I like to use it, especially on indoor maps like the carbon freezing chambers and the new Bespin, sometimes on Endor, those kinds of maps. It is a very good star card, and especially once you practice it, learn its limits, it becomes an absolute beast, especially when you throw it into large groups and then you just rake in the kills from there. Now that just about does it for me and this star card review. Now it's over to you guys. What is your ranking of the flash grenade 0 through 10? 0 being it's absolute shit, no one should ever use it. I don't even think twice about leaving it behind. 10 being it's always in my star card hand and it gets me so many kills. I love it, love it, love it. Put that in the comments below. Be sure to go on the channel and check out our star card playlist. We have plenty more star card reviews if this video was in your liking. Be sure to like and subscribe for plenty more Battlefront content. My name's been Combat Muffin, and I'll see you guys on the other side.